Have you ever felt like you've tried every single cream, shampoo, and treatment out there for hair loss, but nothing seems to work? Well, what if the problem isn't actually on your head at all? What if the real answer is hidden deep inside your body? Let's dive into that. It's so frustrating, right? I totally get it. But let's flip the script for a second. What if your hair is actually trying to send you a message? That's the big question we're exploring today. What happens if we stop seeing hair loss as just a cosmetic problem and start seeing it as a signal from our body's internal systems? So, where do we even begin with that? Well, we start with a really crucial connection that honestly gets overlooked way too often: the link between internal inflammation and a very specific type of hair loss. Okay, so this is the real heart of the matter: inflammatory hair loss. Now, this isn't just about getting older or your genetics. This is when your own immune system basically goes into overdrive, causing inflammation right there on your scalp. And that's the key. Because if this is what's going on, all those topical treatments are kind of like trying to patch a leaky roof in the middle of a hurricane. You've got to address the internal storm first. Okay, so if the problem is basically an internal fire, what's the very first step? Well, it's surprisingly simple, but it is the absolute foundation for everything else that follows. And here it is. Before you can even think about regrowth, before you try any stimulating treatments, the number one non-negotiable priority is to calm the scalp down. You know, it's like trying to plant seeds in burning soil. It's never going to work. You have to put the fire out first. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The source material is crystal clear on this point. The expert says you actually have to calm down the scalp so that you can do some type of treatment protocol to enhance hair regrowth. See? This isn't just a helpful suggestion. It's the golden rule for tackling this specific kind of hair loss. All right, so we've established we need to calm the scalp. That makes total sense. But this just leads us to the real heart of the issue, the million-dollar question we have to answer. What's sparking all that inflammation in the first place? The answer isn't on the scalp itself. So to find the answer, our investigation has to turn inward. And the very first place we should be looking for clues is in your blood work. So why start with blood work? Well, think of your blood like an information superhighway for your entire body. It can show us if you're running low on some really key nutrients, which can in turn put your whole immune system on high alert. And that internal aggravation, well, it can show up externally as inflammation, right on your scalp. So what exactly should you be looking for? The source gives us a really specific checklist. These are the 5 key markers to get tested: zinc, copper, vitamin B12, vitamin D3, and ferritin, which is a measure of your body's iron stores. Think of this as getting a snapshot of your body's nutritional foundation. Okay, so beyond pure nutrition, there's another massive internal system with a direct line to your scalp that you might not expect at all. So let's talk about the gut-scalp connection. I know this might seem a little surprising at first, but this link is incredibly powerful. Things like constipation, diarrhea, or even acid reflux, they're not just uncomfortable. Our source explains that they can create a state of systemic inflammation inside your body. And that inflammation doesn't just stay in your gut. It can travel and show up directly on your scalp. The bottom line here is pretty simple. A happy gut can lead to a much, much calmer scalp. So let's put it all together. The entire strategy really boils down to this simple but powerful inside-out approach. Step 1, you have to play detective. You investigate those potential internal triggers by looking at your blood work and taking a serious look at your gut health. And then step 2, only then can you effectively calm the scalp, because you're finally addressing the root cause, not just slapping a Band-Aid on the symptom. And this brings us to the ultimate takeaway from this whole thing. It's a fundamental shift in thinking. To truly manage your hair and your scalp, especially if you're dealing with stubborn, inflammatory hair loss, you may first need to manage your internal health. The solution really does start from within. So we'll leave you with this final thought. We've laid out the map, connecting what's happening in your internal world to what you're seeing in the mirror. The only question left is, what's the first step you'll take to investigate your own internal health?